In the golden age when gods walked among mortals, the great sage Durvasa offered a sacred garland to Indra, king of the Devas. But Indra, in his pride, cast the blessed flowers aside, letting them fall to the earth. The sage's fury erupted like lightning across the heavens, and his curse struck deep. Let your strength drain away like water through sand. From that moment, the gods began to weaken, their divine radiance dimming with each passing day. As divine power ebbed from the heavens, the Asuras sensed their moment had come. Led by mighty kings with eyes like burning coals, they swept across the three worlds like a tide of shadow. The weakened gods fled their celestial palaces, their weapons growing heavy in their hands, their courage faltering. What had once been the realm of light now trembled under the advance of darkness, and the cosmic order itself began to unravel. In their darkest hour, the gods turned to Lord Vishnu, the preserver of all creation. They found him resting upon the cosmic serpent Shesha, his 4 arms holding the symbols of divine power, his eyes deep as the eternal ocean. "O Lord," pleaded Brahma, "the universe tilts toward chaos. Our strength fails and dharma itself grows weak." Vishnu's voice resonated like distant thunder. "Fear not. There is a way to restore the cosmic balance, but it will require wisdom greater than pride, and cooperation where once there was only enmity." Vishnu's plan defied all understanding. Gods and demons must work as one. "The ocean of milk holds amrita, the nectar of immortality," he explained, "but it can only be obtained through churning, and this task is too great for either side alone." The very air seemed to crackle with tension as ancient enemies faced each other. Indra's jaw tightened, while the Asura king's eyes blazed with suspicion. Yet wisdom prevailed over pride, for all knew that without the nectar, both sides would eventually perish. The cosmic ocean stretched beyond all horizons, its milky waters holding the mysteries of creation itself. But how to churn such vastness? The gods and Asuras together lifted Mount Mandara, that golden peak where celestial beings dwelt, its slopes covered in divine herbs and singing birds. Yet as they carried it to the ocean's center, the mountain's immense weight proved too great even for their combined strength. With a sound like the world's foundation cracking, Mandara began to sink into the fathomless depths. As Mount Mandara disappeared beneath the waves, Vishnu manifested his cosmic form. Taking the shape of a colossal tortoise whose shell gleamed like burnished gold, he dove deep into the ocean of milk. The divine turtle Kurma surfaced beneath the sinking mountain, his vast shell providing an unshakable foundation. With infinite strength and patience, he bore the mountain's weight upon his back, his eyes serene, even as the fate of all creation rested upon him. The churning could begin. Now they needed a rope strong enough to spin a mountain. Vasuki, king of the Nagas, offered himself for this cosmic purpose. His serpentine body stretched for leagues, scales shimmering like precious emeralds, his multiple hoods crowned with divine jewels. The gods and Asuras wrapped his mighty coils around Mount Mandara's peak. But a question arose that would test their newfound alliance. Who would hold the head and who the tail? For Vasuki's breath would be like poison wind, and his head the place of greatest danger. With wisdom born of necessity, the gods chose to grasp Vasuki's tail, leaving the demons at his venomous head. Back and forth they pulled with titanic force, gods and Asuras united in cosmic labor. Mount Mandara spun like a divine spindle, grinding against Kurma's patient shell. The ocean of milk began to froth and foam, waves rising higher than the peaks of lesser mountains. The very foundations of the universe trembled with each mighty pull, and from the churning depths, wonders beyond imagination began to emerge. As the churning continued, the cosmic ocean began to yield its hidden treasures. First rose Kamadhenu, the divine cow whose milk could fulfill any desire, her coat white as moonbeams. Then emerged Airavata, the celestial elephant with skin like clouds and tusks like ivory towers, who would become Indra's mount. The goddess Lakshmi arose from the waters, radiant with beauty and bearing prosperity in her lotus hands. Precious jewels, divine trees, and celestial maidens surfaced one by one, each more wondrous than the last. But the ocean's depths held darkness as well as light. From the grinding of mountain against shell, a terrible poison began to seep forth. Hala hala, the most deadly venom in all creation. Its toxic vapors spread like a dark cloud, withering everything they touched. Gods and demons alike fled in terror as the poison threatened to consume the three worlds. The very air became deadly, and it seemed that in seeking immortality they had instead awakened universal death. In this moment of cosmic crisis, Lord Shiva appeared, his third eye blazing with divine fire. Without hesitation, the great destroyer-protector gathered the spreading poison into his hands. "I will bear this burden," he declared, and drank the deadly hala hala in one mighty draught. But Parvati, his beloved consort, pressed her hands to his throat, preventing the poison from descending further. The venom remained trapped in Shiva's throat, turning it blue as the midnight sky, and earning him the name Nilakantha, the blue-throated one. With the poison contained by Shiva's sacrifice, the churning resumed with renewed vigor. At last, as the sun reached its zenith, Dhanvantari emerged from the depths, the divine physician, holding aloft a golden vessel that blazed like a captured star. Within the sacred kumbha was Amrita, the nectar of immortality, glowing with pure white light. The sight of it sent a thrill through both gods and demons, for here was the prize they had labored so long to obtain. But now came the greatest test. Who would drink from the cup of eternal life? As gods and demons reached for the precious nectar, ancient enmities flared anew. The alliance cracked like thin ice, and chaos threatened once more. But Vishnu, in his infinite wisdom, assumed the form of Mohini, a woman of such transcendent beauty that time itself seemed to pause. Her grace was like flowing water, her smile like dawn breaking over the mountains. "Allow me to distribute the Amrita fairly," she said, her voice like celestial music. Entranced by her beauty, both sides agreed, not knowing they looked upon the supreme deity in disguise. With divine cunning, Mohini served the nectar only to the gods, while giving ordinary wine to the demons. By the time the deception was discovered, the gods had regained their strength and radiance. The cosmic balance was restored, dharma once again prevailed, and the three worlds found peace. Vishnu had shown that sometimes the greatest victories come not through force, but through wisdom, sacrifice, and the courage to work with former enemies for a greater good. The churning of the ocean became a sacred reminder that from the deepest challenges can emerge the most precious gifts.